and welcome back to Otome Hell, where we're playing this Regency era interactive visual novel because it wouldn't be. I don't know. Screw it. The Lady's Choice by Seraphonite Games. We're at a party. We're going to see who is trying to talk to us. I gasp a little at the sudden voice and turn my head to find Stanton stood behind my chair. Oh, Lord Stanton. Lord Stanton, you gave me quite the shock. I apologize. I merely saw you looking so confused and wanted to offer my services if you if you should need to talk. I did so enjoy our conversation yesterday after all, despite how scandalous it was. All of a sudden my thoughts are washed away and I smile up at him. It's a missing comma. Oh god, it's gonna bother me. As did I, despite how scandalous it was. His attention shifts to where partners are lining up to dance before he turns to look back at me. Maybe a more energetic distraction is preferable. He gestures toward the dance floor. May I reserve this dance, Miss Gloucesterberry? We have not had the opportunity since the opening ball. And back then we did not know each other's names. I place my hand in his before I even realize I have done so. Thank you for the offer, Lord Stanton. Stanton. He leads me to the dance floor, and I am acutely aware of the gazes locked onto us. 'Cause he's not good for you, girl, despite the fact that I picked him. The sharpest of them belonging to Arabella. The melodic tune. Oh, hold on. Oh, it's so nice. Good choice. This game has such good sound design. Let's listen to it for a minute. God, what is this? I know this piece. Oh, it's gonna drive me crazy. Because I know this piece. But my brain is like blanking out on it because I wasn't expecting it. The melodic tune begins and we drift closer to each other to begin the dance. I did not think you had made it to tonight's gathering. I'm sure that would have pleased many, and I do like to disappoint them when I can. I give a small laugh and we split to pass around the back of another couple before meeting again. It's devious one. The gathering is the better for you being here. I'm glad to know someone enjoys my presence at these events. I'm sure more than just me. But their opinion matters less than yours. Oh, does it then, Lord Stanton? Oh my. He offers a smile, the expression making my stomach flutter a little. The next moment, we almost forget to step away from each other for the next part of the dance and nearly collide with a couple beside us. He takes my hand and we step closer as the dance comes to an end. Still, we remain together, my body unable and not wanting to move away. I swallow hard at the realization he doesn't seem to want to either. I did not plan on coming tonight at all. My family could not make it, so there seemed a little point in joining. Then why are you here? I took a gamble on someone else being in attendance. A gamble, did you say? We agreed that that was bad for you and you shouldn't gamble anymore. Come on, dude. And did your gamble pay off? It always does. We're so close, I fear he will hear the sudden pounding of my heart as his gaze pierces my own. His fingers close tighter around mine, the contact washing from my mind the thought that the music ended long ago. Ash, there you are. Arabella's voice suddenly makes me blink from the trance I'd found myself in. It seems to do the same for Stanton as he quickly steps back from me and drops my hand. Arabella comes to stand before us, a tense smile on her face. Lord Stanton, I did not realize you were here tonight. I'm like so into it right now, y'all. I'm so into it. I'm so into it. I'm so into it. Like, I'm just like sucked up into the game. Whew. Whew. Arabella broke me out of it, so it's fine. Lord Stanton, I did not realize you were here tonight. She bobs a small curtsy, and Stanton bows deeply before straightening with a bright smile. I was just explaining to Miss Gloucesterberry that it was not in my plans to do so. I should have picked a different name. Gloucesterberry, despite being really funny to me, is also super long. But I found that something drew me here regardless. He turns a smile to me, and I find I cannot help but return it. He clears his throat and looks back at Arabella. And one has to make an appearance at these kinds of things, don't they? Not always. Not always. Her bright smile is quite obviously forced, and her cutting reply makes my eyes widen. As Arabella continues to cast an unsavory glare over the man, I realize now would be the best time to intervene. You frickin' better! Oh, I peeked a little bit. I'm so sorry. You better step in there. I better step in there and change some stuff. Okay. Ooh, let's see. I like the number of choices. At first, it was a little bit overwhelming. I was like, oh god. But it's kind of nice because you get to really like, because you're naming your character and you're giving it whatever name you want. It definitely plays more like better RP wise. Like, here I am, this character, it lets you kind of develop her personality a little bit more, which is nice. Like, you don't always get that with VNs. Like, either you get someone who's, like, really, really boring, or they have a very defined personality. Now, the defined personality, the boring, it kind of depends on what game it is. Like, I've played ones where it's just like, oh my god. Like, that's the sound of me, my disapproval. But then I've played ones where, it's very sick. Anyway. So it's nice, you actually kind of get to, like, sort of define her personality a little bit. This, I think, is going to really be, like, Arabella, back the F off. Thank you for the dance, Lord Stanton. It was indeed a great distraction. He smiles at me and drops into a bow. I shall be happy to offer the duty again, whenever it should be needed. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Wink, but duck sound comes out. Quack. I wrap my hand into Arabella's arm and lead her away before she explodes with a comment I'm sure she'll regret. Even as we move away, I cannot help but glance back to find his attention still upon me. The ride home in the carriage is unusually quiet, Arabella doing her best to keep her opinions to herself. Frickin' better, Arabella! When we arrive home, she remains silent, though sweeps into the drawing room like a thundercloud. I cannot help but smile at her, knowing how much she cares, but also how much she wants to interfere. Not that there should be anything for her to interfere with, mind you. This background's weird. They changed it to like a night scene, and it's weird. You have been smiling since we left the hall, Ash. Then you should not make me do so with your obvious need to voice your thoughts. You fool yourself if you think that is the reason you smile. What else would it be? What else could it be? I certainly cannot begin to think. Such a bitch. A dance, maybe? Don't be salty just because your engagement was broken off, Arabella. With a certain gentleman. She's just salty. That is all it is. She's a salty bee. She's salty. It was only a dance, Arabella. And yesterday it was only a walk. You worry far more than you should. I worry more than enough for you. She stepped closer to me, taking my hand in hers. I would have little true family if I did not have you. Ooh. I think they're friends, but she's still gonna be like, step off. I believe sometimes I care more for you than my own family. She gives a small laugh, enough to start easing her tension. But still, you must let me decide my own life. I am quite old enough for that. She takes her hands from mine and nods. Of course, I am sorry. Did we not have this conversation once about Rupert? I believe so. Though we were much younger then, and it was I trying to dissuade you. We were young, weren't we? Her smile falters a little as painful memories obviously creep into her mind. You truly loved him, didn't you? And then he died! Sorry to break the tension, but come on. I did not think to fall in love as much as I did. It was a foolish young fancy at the beginning, after all. To fall for a scoundrel is the most hellish of things, Ash. I cannot recommend it. Suddenly I understand why she is so Suddenly I understand why she is so intent on my behalf. Rupert was not an ideal husband, even if their affections were true. I thought being older would give us more freedom in choosing our lives. I only wish you to be happy, Ash, and secure. I know. And I have little to do now but interfere in your life, as I have little to do in my own. We should retire for the evening. I would very much like to take a walk in the park in the morning. Walk in the park in the morning. And the earlier we are, the more people we shall meet. I nodded her, and we moved towards the door. Where she suddenly pauses and glances over her shoulder at me, May I ask? She frowns before continuing. Is there truly something beginning between you and Stanton? Truthful. No, I've got to save. Oops. I shall not deny that I hope there is something developing. I suppose it is hard to know where life will lead. Even less so where the heart will. I guess we shall have to wait and see. After that, we head to bed, my head swimming with thoughts heavier than before. Next time on Otome Hell, we see what happens next in the park with Arabella and myself.